Welcome to episode 68 of A Message From. We're your hosts. I'm Edward.
I'm Alyson.
And Ukraine is the winner of this year's Eurovision.
Snaps. Yes. We called it. We predicted it, pretty much.
Yeah, kind of.
I said that I really could see Ukraine winning this year for obvious reasons. And also, I loved their song.
Yeah, I don't think they won because of their song. But their song wasn't terrible.
Their song was really good. And the things about their song that I was kind of hesitant about at first, the more I listened to it, I was like, yeah, this is great. No complaints here.
Yeah, that's like most of the songs. I think when we recorded, I said I didn't like Greece's song. I ended up liking Greece's song.
Yeah, it was...
Excuse me, wait.
I was surprised by a lot of things. Like, if you remember, that Ella song by Andromache or whoever from Cyprus, loved her song, like, in studio, listening to it on Spotify. Live, it was atrocious. It was
so bad.
It was
so
awful.
Bad live. I ended up liking that song, too, because when I was editing, I had to listen to these songs, like, kind of a lot to figure out like what part I want to put in or whatever. And that's when I started liking that song. And then that performance though.
Oh, it was a nightmare. But then there were a lot really of songs that I did not like beforehand that played live were incredible. Like Poland.
Oh, Poland's was so good.
So good live. Who else?
I'm surprised he didn't get more points, but
me too.
The points this year were a mess.
The points this year were a joke, but yeah, Romania, too. You liked that one beforehand.
Obsessed.
I was not sold on it, but live, it was incredible.
Yeah. The power of performance really switches it up. The Netherlands song was good, but that performance was boring as sin. She just stood there.
That's the thing. The song is so good, and her vocals were so good, and, like, her look was beautiful, but, yeah, you can't just stand there. Like, who was the... Lithuania with the short black hair and like the sparkly silver dress.
The one who I said looked like a ballpoint pen.
Yes, the ballpoint pen. I mean, beautiful, great performance, great song, but you can't, in my mind, you can't just stand there and sing.
Oh, she did way more than the Netherlands girl did.
Yeah, she moved around. She had like arm motions, but also like and flow,
the way the camera cut was like. You know, like when she would like sing to herself, but the camera cut and it was just like two of her and she, I thought it was well done. And that was one of those performances I was like, she did well standing in one place.
Yeah.
But the other one I didn't think was very good for standing in place.
No.
A lot of ballads. I was excited for the finale to end for obviously many reasons.
So long.
For that also. But I also wanted to see the information for the semifinals rankings that they don't release until after the final.
The drama.
Yeah. And I was like, I mean, it's interesting. I'm trying to scroll and find it. I'm trying to figure out which Instagram account I found it on.
Let me just say, justice for Belgium. He was done he did really well. So dirty. His song was so good and he got so few points. And I'm just like, come on now.
Song like that hasn't done well, I feel like, in a while.
That is the
song. Like Bruno Mars-y vibe.
It's better than Bruno Mars, though. Like,
oh, yeah. Personally, I don't like Bruno Mars, but so I do think it's better.
800 times better than Bruno Mars. You could hear that song played all over. It's so good. He's so talented. I'm sad.
Yeah, he didn't do well. It was, I mean, the way the points are obviously done now, they used to do it differently, and I don't remember exactly if it was they tallied the jury points and then they would, like, the people would call in with the popular vote. I can't exactly remember how it works. Well, I don't know, but they started doing it where they do this lump sum now, and it is wild, the lump sum votes at the end, where it's like,
yeah,
they'll be like, okay, now we're at this person, and they have like this many jury votes, but it's just like 0 popular vote.
It's just the number.
wild.
We went, what was the one where it was the first big one? It was like 250 points, and then the next one got like 5 points, and I was like, to follow that, the first one to get like a huge sum of points, and
that's a big jump in general, I think.
Yeah. I mean, look, Moldova had a great performance. I was surprised by them as well, because they're like that very like campy, crazy. Are they the ones that I called like circus freaks?
I don't know. There was the actual circus freaks.
There were a lot of circus freak performances this year, but and usually
but
I'm
it's like
not
that's like the
those.
folky one.
But theirs was really good.
Yeah. No, I like them a lot.
What was the one with the crazy clown balloon, the yellow balloon, and he had like feathers in his hair? Finland. Theirs was good.
Theirs was good. I liked theirs.
Hated that balloon.
Why did you hate the balloon?
Because he shows up there. It's just him. He's got a creepy freaking smile on his face. He is a literal circus freak. And he's holding this yellow balloon. And it just made me think of the movie It. Like, at the beginning,
that was the point.
The little boy, and he's in his yellow rain jacket, and he's chasing his boat down the water, and then he gets eaten by a killer clown. And I'm like, you freak.
Yeah, that was the point.
Yeah, well, I didn't like it.
Okay. I thought you were just like making that connection like separately, and I was like, no, I think that was the whole reason he held the balloon.
I mean, I assumed because that was the imagery you get right away.
Right. So for the first semifinal, Croatia was in 11th place and just missed out. That was the one with like guilty pleasures. It was one of my like bottom 2.
Oh,
I'm shocked. But I mean, Austria, the one that we liked a lot, was 3rd from last place.
That didn't make any sense.
Sad. And then also the one that we liked, Ireland, she was 15 out of 18.
What?
I know. I was like,
she was
wow.
good. But maybe she was too mainstream. Like that poppy song could just, maybe people were looking for
I don't know. I showed it for a
different.
friend and my friend was like, this is not good. And I was like, oh, maybe I'm just...
I think
like,
it's just very,
smooth brain.
like, it's a good song. I really liked it. I liked her. I liked the performance, but it was just very standard poppy song. I feel like...
Which we could have used in the final.
Like,
Oy.
yeah, there were a lot of sad, depressing songs, but I feel like maybe people were looking for something different than what they're hearing played on the radio nonstop.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Only the... I don't know, jury and the popular vote, but I don't know how it was split. I just know that she was in 15th place, and it was sad because then we had to watch 17 ballads in the final.
Oh my gosh, some of them were just so, like, I don't even know. There were a few that I didn't even pay attention to. I was like, I should be watching the performance so that I can get the full impact, but I was kind of just scrolling on my phone.
I think there was one that I was like, I legitimately got up and was like, okay, I don't need to be watching this right now. And I think it was Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan, actually, the live performances were much better than I thought they were going to be. But Azerbaijan got so many more votes than I thought they would. Like, yeah, their live performance was, like, great. Much better than I thought it was going to be. But still, the number of points and votes they got, I was like, that's shocking.
The jury vote was so weird. I think Spain gave all their points to Azerbaijan? Or North Macedonia? Or someone else?
North Macedonia wasn't in the final.
Oh, shit, you're right. We gave our points to someone, and then Italy gave their points to some other random country, too.
Someone I didn't
Which was very funny. Yeah, they were just like, we'll just toss our votes away so that we can try to win. I think the UK gave their votes to somebody random, too. It was literally last night, I can't even remember. I feel hungover, and I'm obviously not, but I am, like, I haven't done anything today. I need this day to end.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe it's already Sunday. I'm so depressed. I need another 3 days worth of weekend.
Oh, tomorrow's a holiday here. So, well, no, today's the holiday, but tomorrow's the observation or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I am supposed to go see Chanel perform in 2 hours. So, I mean, we'll see. It's in Plaza Mayor, which, like, there's a finite amount of space there, obviously.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, like, how many people are going to be there, but it seems like a lot. So,
Probably the whole city's going to be trying to get in.
I would imagine she is the first person to have done remotely well in, like, 19 years or something like that. Or maybe not 19, 17, 11, some double-digit number. And I was like...
19 or 11.
Which is still a long time to not be remotely close to doing well, you know?
Yeah.
Especially when you're consistently in the final every single year.
Yeah, they don't even have to work to get in the final. You're just in anyway.
Yeah. You know what I'm surprised is? I'm surprised that France wasn't higher. But I guess this year was not the year for, like, songs in funky language. Not funky, but, like, niche languages. And I was
surprised at how poorly France did, how poorly Germany did. And I was
also how poorly Germany did. I felt bad for him.
At least he was able to laugh about it, though. Like, he laughed off the fact that they got...
Oh, yeah. You can tell, though, some people were shook when they got, like, no votes. But he was like, LOL, I got 6 points. Yay.
Yeah. I was also surprised at how well Sweden did. Like...
She was favored to win.
It was good, but incredible. It wasn't that interesting in the end. I'm like...
The performance or the song?
Both.
Oh, no, that song is so good.
It's a good song, but it's not, like... incredible, in my opinion.
Opinions.
Yeah. We all know my very strong opinions are not that popular.
Not obviously. Common, I would say. Well, I guess common is popular, is it not? No, those are two different things. Not necessarily. Yeah. What is it? Popular is... No, common is... I'm trying to make a square rectangle thing here. You know how every square is a rectangle, but not every rectangle is a square?
Yeah, but I don't think I've ever heard this thing you're trying to do. Are you just making it up yourself?
Yeah, well, you know how using that thing with this, like, not everything that's common is popular, but everything that's popular is common. That's not true, though. I don't think
that's true.
So, well. You
tried.
Sometimes it works. We have a lot to talk about in the bottom half. Do you want to just get into it?
Yes, let's.
Do you want to read Bobby's message? We have a message from Bobby.
We have a message from Bobby. He emailed it in to a message from pod@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. The subject line, first of all.
What is it?
Why the hell did Alyson go to Scotland?
Oh.
I mean, why not? But anyway.
I don't know.
Okay, so a couple of things. First, I'm sorry I've been slacking on keeping up to date with the pod. So if you covered this already, I'll have to get in the back catalog. But Alyson has been sharing such wonderful pictures of her trip to Scotland. What was she doing there? I love Scotland, but I've only really been to Edinburgh, and it was for 2 days, and then I was hiking on an island for a couple of days. Where all did Alyson go? What did she go? What did she do?
Can you read?
I can read. Can he type? Because there are some typos in here. Thank you very much.
Oh, he typoed it?
Yes, he typoed it. Anyway, where all did Alyson go? What did she do? What was her favorite place? And more controversially, Glasgow or Edinburgh? That I can answer. Also, I want everyone to know that I won the game of AMF Pod. I have collected all 5 postcards and will be the AMF Pod honorary chairman now. Thank you. Long live the pod. B.
He has yet to receive that last postcard, but technically, yes.
Honorary chairman, Bobby Tay Burrows. Congratulations.
Chairman. That seems like a lot of...
A lot of responsibility. So we will be expecting a business proposal on how to grow this podcast in our inbox soon. Yeah.
Another person to bring into the loop decision making. I thought it'd be good.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get into all that and more after this break.
Hello, everyone. Alyson here. Just wanted to say that we want to hear from you. So send us a message at 202-630-4509 or email us at amessagefrompod@gmail.com. Also, don't forget to rate and review and check out amfpod.com for bonus content. Now back to the show.
Welcome back from the break. Hope you weren't longing too much in anguish over Alyson's upcoming detailed explanation of why the fuck she was in Scotland.
Yeah, it's a detailed monologue. Feel free to jump in at any time with any questions you may have.
Maybe we should have made this a monologue and then I just didn't have to be here for this.
That would have been funny. But anyway.
So why did you go?
Why did I go? Why not? Why not? Why not? How many times can I say why not?
It's not even on my list of places to go.
Okay.
In the upcoming future.
Everywhere is on my list of places to go. But obviously we have priorities, right?
That is so on brand for you.
I mean, it's the truth. But I had been talking about doing a trip to London this spring. A friend and I had been talking about going to London, casually talking about it for several years now. And I was like, look, it's time to go. And turns out she wasn't able to go anymore this spring. So I was like, whatever, I'm going anyway. Flights to London were not cheap. So I said, if I'm going to spend this money, I might as well go somewhere I have not been before. Scotland. Why not? Scotland. So I picked Scotland.
So you didn't go to Scotland because it was cheap. You just decided to go somewhere that was not necessarily as expensive, but worth the money.
Exactly.
Worth the first time money.
Yes.
Okay.
Worth the first time money. So I chose Scotland and booked everything end of March. Flight, Airbnb, all that stuff. And left May 3rd.
And here we are.
So I flew in on May 3rd. I stayed in Glasgow the whole time. I booked my Airbnb there. I didn't want to be moving around a lot. I didn't want to have to deal with packing up my junk, all that stuff. So I figured Glasgow's close enough to a lot of the things I want to see this time around that I just stayed there. And I did 2 day trips to Edinburgh. I did a day trip to Stirling, a day trip to Ballack and Loch Lomond. And I think the longest I was on a train was 50 minutes.
That's not bad.
No, not bad at all. And most of the time...
Is that central? I don't know what geography looks like over there.
Yeah, so Scotland is tall and sort of skinny. It's got a lot of islands and bits flapping out to the side. Imagine. But, Glasgow and Edinburgh are kind of right in the middle almost. A little bit closer to the bottom than the top, but pretty much. And they're in line with each other too. So everywhere that I went was in kind of a central band.
Okay.
And some of the places were really close too, a 20-minute train ride. So no big deal at all.
Are trains good there?
Oh my gosh, the trains there are so nice. Can we just
Are
talk?
they? It's a genuine question.
The trains are clean.
Oh.
There are no tin cans.
Okay. I said tin can trains. I was like, they meant tin cans on the floor, and I was like,
no tin can trains. They're nice. They're ticket machines. Oh my gosh, the ticket machines are so good. In France, it's 90% chance the ticket machine you walk up to is wonky or broken or doesn't work. Or it's
it sounds
touchy.
about right, yeah.
Something's not right.
Okay, almost more importantly than all of those things, though, are they on time?
Well, they are on time. I'm not even kidding you.
The way you said "well" in front of that, though, I'm like, what's coming?
There's a caveat. There's a caveat. They're on time, and the shocking thing is, while I was there was a derailment, a major derailment that caused a lot of cancellations while I was there. And then they were also going through like a huge driver shortage while I was there. So that also caused a bunch of cancellations. But even amongst all of that, the trains were always on time. The ones that weren't canceled.
Oh, so they weren't delayed. They were just not there. Canceled.
Well, so it would be like, normally the route that I wanted to take, there'd be like 3 trains an hour. So instead there would be like only 1 or 2 trains per hour. But I'm like...
Yeah, but they're still on time.
But it's still on time. It's still there. So I'm like, okay, I leave at 11:15 instead of 11:30. No big deal.
So they are on time.
They're on time. They're clean.
That's very
You
nice.
could hear the announcements when they make announcements. The ticket machines are great.
Important.
Oh, the inside of both of their main train stations in Glasgow were gorgeous.
Oh, yeah?
I was expecting one, like, so there's 2 main ones, and they're pretty close to each other. And the one that I was using more often was the Queen Street station, and that one was so nice and clean inside that I was like, the other Central station must be, like, real janky. You know, you're just like, you don't... I walked in there, I took a train, on my last day, too. I finally ended up taking a train that ended there, and I was walking around inside, and I was like... Oh, this is gorgeous. This train station is beautiful. It's clean. There are great shops inside, great cafes.
Is it like old school or is it like modern or?
On the outside, when you look at the outside, I was like, this is going to be crusty. You go inside, beautiful, modern, like clean, like
not
steel,
like stone
glass.
Exterior.
It was so nice.
Interesting. I have no idea what architecture is supposed to look like up there. Other than just like moss on stones. That's the only thing I know.
So the funny thing is their architecture is gorgeous. It's not just moss on stone. I mean, I didn't do Highlands.
Like modern or like I don't like.
Oh, like Gothic, like very beautiful, like Gothic stone, old school. No, not really.
Okay. Oh, okay.
There are some. There was a lot of construction going on in Glasgow, and they were putting in like more modern housing and stuff. And like mixed use buildings, and some of the neighborhoods with like the smaller universities in the city, that was more modern architecture. But then in like the city center and obviously the older parts, you still have that like Gothic and Renaissance style. So it's an interesting mix. It didn't look like anything kind of was out of place or didn't go together.
Interesting. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So what were your first impressions of rolling up to Scottish lands?
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. I was not expecting it to be as pretty as it is. Like, I'm not even kidding you, just gorgeous, gorgeous. Anytime you go into a park, anytime you like walk up a hill, you get this beautiful view. And you can see like the mountains in the back. Oh, gorgeous.
Is that because of the greenery, I'm assuming?
Well, the greenery too. Oh, so lovely. Everyone's always talking about how Ireland has like 80 billion shades of green or something. I don't know. But Scotland,
okay.
Scotland is so beautiful and there's so much greenery. And then there were a lot of flowers too. So like pretty colors, not just green. And then you see the hills.
The season. You went in spring.
Mountains. Yeah, I went in spring. So, you know, you get all those blooms. Oh, it was so pretty. And I got lucky with... Okay, so
your first impression was just that it was pretty?
Yeah, that it was beautiful.
Okay.
Like, even on the bus ride from the airport, I was like, dang, this is pretty. Even though we were, like, on the highway.
Do love a pretty highway.
Yeah. So, I did learn, though, which this worked out in my favor. Do not trust the weather forecast. At all.
Yeah.
Literally.
You're anywhere in the UK.
Do not trust it. But for the most part, it worked out in my favor. There was one real bleak time when I was like, I'll get dinner to go and sit outside and eat. And then it was like, I felt like I was walking in a hurricane and then it started raining and I was like, I can't do this. I gotta go home. I gotta go home. But for the most part, it ended up being like really sunny and nice, even on the days that it was forecast to rain for like 6-7 hours. Sun came out, it was beautiful. So, yeah, I got super lucky. I'm like out of breath. Just chatting away over here.
I'm like, I don't know where you want me to go with this.
So, I think I mentioned that I stayed in like a B&B style Airbnb. I chose that instead of like a unit all to myself because I was thinking, I'm going there by myself. First of all, it has breakfast included every morning, so that's perfect. That's one...
Like a B&B should.
Yeah, exactly.
Bed and breakfast.
Yes. So I'm like, that's one meal per day that I don't have to buy out. And maybe I'll end up meeting someone there. Like, it'll give me some social interaction with other people. Instead of just like...
Did you interact? Did you interact with anybody?
So the first morning I'm there, right? I'm sat down and Thomas, the host, lovely. As soon as he hears you come down the stairs, he comes out. He's like, good morning. How are you? Can I get you some tea? Can I get you some coffee? I'll make you some toast. Ugh.
Wait, he makes everything for you?
So you go in there and most of the stuff is already out. Like there's yogurt out. There's fresh cut fruit. I should have asked Thomas who his fruit dealer is because this was the freshest, best fruit I've ever had consistently every day.
What kind of fruit selection are we talking about?
My mind. Like, you would not expect this in Scotland in May. There was honeydew, strawberries.
Okay.
A few times there was cantaloupe, blueberries, and then blackberries. It was just like mixed, chopped up in a bowl. So you could tell that he had like chopped it up that morning.
Right.
Every day I was like, this is the best strawberry I've ever eaten. Not even being dramatic. Okay. I'm like, how? Where's he getting it from? But so there's a
non-American produce.
Yeah, clearly. So there's like a selection of yogurts out every morning. There's a selection of like cereals and granolas. There's the fresh fruit, there's orange juice, there's milk, there's, you decide, like, you tell him if you want a pot of tea or coffee. He'll either make you a pot of tea or a French press coffee.
So he makes your hot beverage and then everything else is just there.
He makes the hot beverage and the toast and brings that out to you,
okay.
And everything else is there. So there's, like, the cereals and the granolas, and then there were some prepackaged things, too, if you wanted. I did eat a hobnob bar once. Just like a little snack bar.
A what?
A hobnob bar. Here's the thing. I'm obsessed with, like, all things snacks from other countries. So, like, I've had a hobnob
we know.
before.
We on this pod. We know.
I have an obsession. I've had a hobnob before. So, but they have snack bars. It's like an Odie type of chewy snack bar. And the one that I ate had, like, chocolate on the bottom. It would be like your standard granola bar that's like chewy.
It's a granola bar.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the brand is Hobnobs. Anyway. And there were like some like muffins or like, you know, like the prepackaged like croissant, stuff like that. But I didn't want any of that. So the first morning, right, I'm sitting there. Thomas is getting my tea ready. In walks Barb from Iowa.
Barb from Iowa.
Barb walks in like a freaking tornado off the plains. She was so excited, so happy, so friendly. And she's like, what do you expect a Barb from Iowa to look like? She's got like...
I don't want to be
rude. She was wearing like her jeans, right? She's got on her like athletic tennis shoes, ready for like walk in the city. She was wearing like some like floral print t-shirt or something.
Just like short dyed blonde hair.
Yeah, yes. Oh my god. Yeah. Did I tell you that?
No. This is what I see these women all the time in Europe.
This is Barb from Iowa. Anyway, she was super friendly right off the bat, and so every morning we would have like a nice chat while we were eating breakfast.
Oh, that's nice.
And so something really funny happened to me. And I have to say, like, props to Barb, because would you ever just expect, like, a random woman in her 60s from middle America to be bold enough to just sell her car, leave things behind, and then just, like, go live in Europe and move around for as long as she can. Like,
so she's just like doing the tourist visa thing?
So I thought she was doing like the digital nomad thing, right? I thought she was working because she mentioned like having her laptop and like working and stuff. So I thought she was working. But then one morning, her and I were talking, and we were talking about like where I work, and I was saying what I was doing and how I really just want to like travel and stuff. And she was like, oh, you could be a digital nomad. And she said it just like that, like super excited.
I can
and
imagine,
in my head, I'm like, wait a minute, Barb. Like, I thought that's what you were doing. You wouldn't be saying this to me if that's what you were doing. So then I had to be like, so what are you doing for work here? And that's when it came out that she is just using her social security checks. And then I believe she's renting out her home in Iowa while she's gone.
How is she legally staying here then?
Well, that's the thing is like when she reaches her limit in the Schengen zone, she
3
leaves.
months.
Yeah.
And she
in the
back.
UK, you can stay for 6 months, I think.
Yeah.
So she's been doing that, but she did work in Hungary. She did something similar to like what we were doing in France, like teaching in Hungary, but obviously their age limits were different there. Because when she was in the States, she worked in schools and libraries all over. So she's lived in like, I'm telling Barb's whole life story on the podcast.
I was going to say, did you tell Barb about the podcast? She knows this is going to happen.
I should have told
no?
Barb about the podcast.
Yeah, Barb seems like someone who would love this podcast.
Oh my gosh, I should have told her about it. But
Alyson Bove, head of marketing and PR.
Well, speaking of, I was at an art gallery, a museum there, and I was just like walking down one of the walkways, and someone had written their Instagram handle on a piece of paper and just like ripped it off and set it on this like column. And I was like, that's brilliant. It's like, why aren't we doing that? Why am I not doing that? And
like
then
those things that you like rip the paper off to take with you?
No, it wasn't even. They had just like written it in their notebook or something and like ripped it off and set it down. And I was like, this is why I always bring postcards with me to leave places, and then I freaking forgot them at home.
Have you left a postcard though?
I forgot. I always forget. I like tuck them in something.
Wait, you took them to Scotland and forgot to put them?
No, I forgot to take them to Scotland, and then when I got there, I was like, oh, you idiot. But anyway.
Oh, man. Well, I'm so glad you got to get the Barb story in before the end of this episode, because we're at the end of it.
Oh my gosh. There's so much more to talk about.
You have, like, barely touched the surface, I feel like. Scratch the surface, that's that phrase.
Yeah.
So I guess we're going to do this again.
We're going to do it again, so y'all better stay tuned. We're going to do it again.
Stay tuned for episode 69, where Alyson gets to talk a shit ton more about Scotland.
And if you want to leave us a message about, obviously not Scotland, because we'll have that one covered, but anything else under the sun, you can call us at 202-630-4509, or you can email us at amessagefrompod@gmail.com, or DM us on Instagram at @amessagefrom, or on Twitter at @amessagefrom. Don't forget.
The message from underscore.
A message from underscore. My bad.
Sorry. It was taken.
Sad. Also, don't forget to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. 5-star only, please. And find us at amfpod.com for bonus content.
Yeah.
And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.